Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Janelle Slade. Election officials across Montana coping with mass confusion that showed up in the mail over the weekend.
County offices statewide sifting through a wave of absentee voter applications after a mailer was sent out to more than 90,000 Montanans that incorrectly stated they were not registered.
Now, that mailer sent by the New American Jobs Fund seems to have missed its mark, as the majority of people who received it were already registered.
Q2's Samantha Sullivan checked in today with the Yellowstone County Elections Office to bring us the latest update. Sammy.
Well, Jay and Janelle, Yellowstone County Elections Administrator Brett Rutherford says the phones have been ringing off the hook with people concerned over their registration status. The mailer stated the recipient was not registered to vote absentee and provided them an application to send in. While these mailers and calls to actions around elections are not at all uncommon, Rutherford says this group missed the mark, sending the majority of their mailers to people already registered to vote, not only causing confusion, but a major headache for the elections office, who have now spent hours putting information in that they already had.
So we've been contacted by at least 1,000 people in the last couple of days through the mail, emails to myself, phone calls, people walking in, and we've only had 6 people out of those 1,000 that actually were not on the absentee list. So there's a couple in there that are getting covered, which is nice, but it's a very inefficient way to do it.
Now, Rutherford says anyone with questions can always call his office. He also points out that any correspondence directly from the elections office will have an official election mail seal on the envelope that only the elections office is allowed to use. Jay and Janelle.
All right. Thanks so much, Sammy.
In the campaigns for U.S. House and U.S. Senate this year here in Montana, one of the biggest issues on the minds of voters is health care.
Starting today, MTN chief political reporter Mike Dennison takes a look at how the major candidates differ on this key issue. Today, he focuses on the U.S. House race.
Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte says his party has made progress on health care by repealing the federal mandate that individuals must buy health coverage and getting rid of other insurance regulations.
I believe we should be moving to more options for consumers, peeling back this Obamacare that's driven premiums up and benefits down. One-size-fits-all government-run health care is not going to get us to where we need to be.
Those choices include association plans, which allow businesses to pool their coverage for employees, and more use of consumer health savings accounts. He also says a proposal by some Democrats to have Medicare for all will bankrupt the country. But that's not what his Democratic challenger Kathleen Williams is proposing. She wants to let people 55 and older buy into Medicare coverage at no additional cost to the government.
This wouldn't require a tax increase to cover because people would be paying their way, and it's about free choice.
She says putting more of that age group into Medicare would help stabilize the individual market for health insurance, which she agrees is much too expensive for some people. However, she opposes repealing Obamacare, saying it protects people with pre-existing health conditions and helps low- and middle-income people afford health coverage.
This piecemeal way of doing it is creating both uncertainty, and there's a projection that, tens of thousands of Montanans would lose their health care. So I very much differ with him on that. And I think we need to fix the system, not just pick it apart bone by bone.
On prescription drugs, Williams also wants to allow the federal government to negotiate directly with drug manufacturers to get prices down. Gianforte has called for more transparency in pricing but hasn't outlined any specific reforms. Libertarian Eleanor Swanson says existing programs like Medicare must be made financially sound rather than add to them. As you can see, on this issue, there are clear differences between the two major candidates. The same can be said for the U.S. Senate candidates, who we'll talk about tomorrow. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thank you much, Mike.
Have an opinion about the upcoming election? Well, you may get to voice it if you pick up the phone, and on the other end is an MSU Billings political science student.
That's because the Montana poll is back again this year. A team of MSU students from Dr. Jason Adkins' media public opinion class at MSUB will be calling voters this week in an effort to gauge public opinion.
They will be asking about Montana's Senate and U.S. House race, in addition to the 4 ballot initiatives on this year's ballot.
That's the case with polls, is that we're trying to measure public opinion at this point in time. Now, who knows how public opinion may change in the next few weeks before the election, but we'll at least get a good gauge right now what Montanans are thinking.
Those results will be unveiled October 23rd, just weeks before the November 6th election.
The Montana poll, by the way, has been going on for 31 years. If you're curious if you're on the phone list, well, the class purchased a database with randomly selected households to call, so no way to tell.
The Northern Cheyenne tribe is losing its president. L. Jace Kilsback announced his resignation in a letter on Tuesday. He'll leave his post this Friday. In his letter, Kilsback says months of conflict with the tribe's legislative branch led to his decision. Last October, Kilsback was removed as president by the Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council after a year on the job. However, in a special election this January, Kilsback won his seat back. Now, Kilsback's full resignation letter can be found on our website, ktvq.com. No word from the tribe so far on who may replace Kilsback.
Residents in Opportunity, Montana will not be getting their day in court, at least not anytime soon. Tonight, MTN's John Amy tells us how that small community west of Butte will have to wait on its lawsuit against the Atlantic Richfield Company over contamination cleanup.
A lawsuit that's been a decade in the making has reached another snag for about 100 residents in the Opportunity area near Anaconda. The Opportunity residents involved in this suit were expected to have a jury trial in Butte on this matter at the end of October. However, the Atlantic Richfield Company was successful in having that trial delayed while the case gets heard in the U.S. Supreme Court. The plaintiffs in this lawsuit are suing the Atlantic Richfield Company, claiming that it needs to do more remediation work to clean up the contamination in the soil. The groundwater and soil in Opportunity was contaminated through arsenic and other heavy metals due to a century's worth of pollution that was spewed by the Anaconda smelter. I spoke to some longtime Opportunity residents who are not a part of the lawsuit, and they say they're not too concerned about the contamination in the soil.
When the smelter was running, I believe it was contaminated, but like now, I think it's a lot more cleaner water, and I don't think we have as much contamination.
Don has lived in Opportunity since the 1950s, and he says he's had no health problems.
Yeah, I'll be 91 in December, so I'm really worried.
You've been fine, in other words.
And I put in 32 years for the Anaconda Company.
The two Opportunity residents say the latest developments in this lawsuit doesn't look too good for the plaintiffs.
They're just dragging it out. They'll probably drag it out for another 20 years, you know.
In Opportunity, John Amy, MTN News.
Thanks, John. That lawsuit seeks an extensive cleanup effort, a cleanup that could cost Atlantic Richfield between $50 million up to $78 million.
Still to come on tonight's 5:30 News, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, and it could save lives. We'll check out a day in the life of a chimney sweep.
And in sports tonight, Scott shows us how Rockies soccer men might be closing in on one of their most promising finishes.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.